What's going on YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry and I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you for tuning back in. I appreciate everybody's support. Today it's kind of an interesting episode because I'm going to focus mostly on XRP, but to get to my point, I'm going to go over a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin right now, because I had a lot of questions in the Discord asking me, what's the resistances, where are we going to go, what does it look like, why are you still neutral and not 100% bullish. So I was going to go over those things and also go into XRP to show you where we're going from here, just from a chart analysis standpoint. Pretend you didn't know anything about how amazing Ripple is and Ripple utilizing the XRP ledger, anything like that. Just simply from chart analysis. So if you like this, mediocre content, please like and subscribe. It does really help me. I'm a smaller channel, so my videos won't be put up for most people to even see. If you found me and you're not already subscribed, you've kind of hit the lottery. Yeah, right. But also, if you're not following me already on Twitter, I respond to a lot of crypto questions as well as the XRP community mostly, but also you can get some funny little things when I reply, because I get a lot of hate back, and I will never be mean to anybody on Twitter. I think that's stupid when people are arguing, but I will either shut them down with my thoughts or other things like that. So if you like that, like I said, just hit me up. Again, if you want to get more in contact with asking me questions and stuff, I do have a Discord server. All the links and all that's in the description. But before we get started, let's hop to CoinMarketCap and see where we're at. So right now Bitcoin's at 19.1, almost 19.2. We're getting real close to hitting back up to our all-time high at around 19.8, depending on which exchange you were looking at. And then also we have the 20K psychological resistance right above that. Ethereum's been trying to get back over 600 after making a run up to almost about 630. And then XRP's been kind of chilling around 60 to 63 cents. As far as the biggest gainers right now, we got Elrond, something that I definitely invested in and really like. I also have ERD as well, besides Elrond Gold. We have Urine Finance kicking up. I've been hearing a lot of stuff. There's one person on Twitter who just won't shut up about SushiSwap. It's on its way up. And then Uniswap kind of pumping up still. Again, I'm waiting to get this up to like $8 or $10 to where I can maybe sell a little bit more. I don't think I'll ever get rid of all of it because it was free. You gotta ride it out a little bit. Take some chances in life. Biggest losers, no more than 9, almost 10%. So pretty much a stagnant day thus far. So the first thing I'll talk about is Bitcoin and why I am still bearish. I know we never filled the gap at 9,700-ish in the CME futures, but this gap is the largest gap I've seen in Bitcoin, and it is currently at around $1,255, almost $1,300. That is a very large gap, and in history repeats itself, these gaps tend to fill, right? We may never fill the one at 9,300 just because the price has gone up too much since then, and like I said, as a caveat, that could happen again. The reason is that I'm bearish now is because we're really close, and we've already put in a double top on Bitcoin, and we did it twice. So we had a top here at 97.50 and then 19.85, and then we dropped. We had another double top here just close to 20,000, and this is on the CME futures chart, but this data still transfers over. It's just a little bit different in price. We had another double top, and then we came down. So where do we go from here? And if you're asking about the little plane, I sit behind a computer pretty much all day, and I thought it was entertaining to fly the plane through the gap because that's how big it was. So just that. Okay, so we have this large CME gap, and we've had multiple tests at this resistance. So let's just continue on. So here, I don't show this much in my videos because it's kind of hard to understand, and this data can be interpreted in any way that you want it to be interpreted. But the main thing I wanted to show here is for Bitcoin on Glassnode, we have a decrease in the hash rate. So right now, the amount of processing for the Bitcoin network, in a sense, has been reduced. And this is mostly due to electricity being shut off in certain parts of the world. I think Argentina, but I know for sure it was China as well. This reduction in electricity to the miners has reduced the overall processing and hash rate that Bitcoin can have at this time. But you'll see other people will say that this is actually in lieu of bull run starting to happen, because at every all-time high we had a decrease in the hash rate as miners were getting set up, getting their everything prepared so we could be in the next bull run. Whatever the case you want to be, to me this is a bearish thing because there's not as much power, there's not as many blocks being mined, and the amount of money that Bitcoin miners are making is being reduced, right? So take that for what it is, but I take this as kind of a bearish in the short term because I'm bullish on Bitcoin just like most other cryptos. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the monthly bullish news. Look where we closed this monthly candle. This monthly candle has closed at $19,800. And this is on Bitstamp. This candle is going to be slightly different for other exchanges, but I use Bitstamp just because this has the most data for doing the long trend analysis. And as of right now, we have this nice little hammer candle forming, right? But we have 29 more days and 2 hours left in 2020 to see what happens from here. So this is very, very bullish, right? This is the highest candle that has ever closed in Bitcoin's history. So why wouldn't you be bullish right now? I'm still very bullish in the long run, but I think we're going to have a correction that is going to shock most people, because pretty much every person I find, because I watch a lot of chart analysis on YouTube when I'm bored playing video games, because I just like to hear everybody's view, their interpretation. And I hear a lot of the chart analysis say, I don't watch other people. Like, why the fuck not, right? Because I mean, there's so much other points of views, and yours may not be right, because this is all subjective. I'm a doctor/idiot, not financial advice. I'm just telling you my opinion of what I see, right? Anything I see on the charts, and then what if I miss something? I try my best not to, but if somebody's got another idea, man, I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to go, oh no, I don't agree, or I do agree, and that's just how I look at things. But that's just me personally. So on here you can see I have two yellow lines. So in my thoughts, if we were to have a big correction, say we hit 20K again, and we come down, there's two major points that I think that we'll hit. So let's just zoom in real quick. And I know I said this is about XRP, but we have to know where Bitcoin is to know anything about the other altcoins right now. Maybe in the future that'll be different, but as of things go right now, Bitcoin's the big daddy, right? There's 500 and how much was the market cap? So the market cap of all crypto is 571 billion. All right, Bitcoin is, go back to the thing, Bitcoin is 355 billion of that, right? So we're talking over 60% of the total money in crypto is in Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin moves, the rest of them are going to move, usually in some way, shape, or form. And this is because a lot of these cryptos are paired with Ethereum, or they're paired with Bitcoin. So like Bitcoin to Ethereum, Bitcoin's price drops, the Bitcoin to Ethereum pair thus is going to drop in value, right? It won't drop as much, but it'll drop to a certain extent. And you can measure this and use the actual paired. So on this side here, on my other TradingView account, I have just all crypto pairs and not just the ones that I show in USD, which is just the easiest to get your point across. If there's a really interesting point on, say, like the Bitcoin to XRP chart, I'll bring that up and I'll have it in a separate tab. But all right, so coming back, this is the daily. We have we've been going over, oh, here we go, yep. We're going over different bearish and bullish signs. So long term, monthly candle close, 19.8, very bullish. We have increased interest, Bitcoin trends, all of these things are going up. When we had a drop here on the daily, we had this big drop. We were picked up on the 20 daily exponential moving average, which when we zoom back has always been a point of bouncing in the, has been a point of bouncing in a bull market, right? And by getting solid bounce here is very bullish that we're going to continue going up, right? So when we zoom back in here, one of the things that's bearish about this, though, is we're starting to see some bearish divergence. We have a decrease in the RSI, but we're having an increase in the price. This usually signifies a trend reversal is likely to occur. Doesn't mean it has to be, but when I see this on the daily chart, not just like on the hourly or the 4 hourly, this gives me really worried. And back to what I was saying on the double top in the Bitcoin futures here, we have a top, boop, and another top. This is bearish. When we see these, typically it's again going to show that we are going to go into the other direction. Well, we could just go down, retest this 20 daily exponential moving average, and then take off from there. I treat resistances and support lines like health bars. Love video games. The more you test it, it's like you're taking HP away from that bar and you're slowly weakening it, right? So the more we come up to test 20K, we're weakening it. But that same goes for the other thing. The more we test this, there's a potential for us to go down. So with this bearish divergence and the fact that we have issues with the hash rate, and now we have a double top forming, which is going to make people more worried. If you bought at 19.7, 19.8, you may be like, oh, this shit isn't actually going to happen. So you might never be getting ready to sell once we hit 19.8, 19.7 again, right? The next thing I'm worried about is, say we have a little drop here, we could potentially form a little head and shoulders on the pattern, and this would take, only about 2 weeks to potentially form, drop down to the 20 weekly exponential moving average, and that's when we actually see the real pump. Because I am bullish no matter what. Like, we're going to see 6-figure Bitcoin at one point in the next couple of years. I mean, I don't see how we wouldn't, based on the way just money and simple math works. And I had so many people tell me that I am just a fucking idiot because I invested in crypto and all that, and who's laughing now, right? But either way, don't really care. You do you, whatever you want to do. But so we have this double top that's formed. We're holding strong right now, potentially going to come back up to test it again. If we test it again, there is a chance that we could break through this, right? The more people who get interest in this, the more people that start putting in limit orders at, say, right above 20K, if we actually hit it, all those orders can get filled and just bam, it just goes up. That's how the derivative market works. So, very, very bullish in the long term. But with this bearish divergence here in the short term and the fact that we are so overbought, I just think that we're going to have this correction, and this correction is going to be nasty. We're going to get a true 30, 35, 40% correction, which is why I have these two yellow lines. These two yellow lines are where my buy orders are set at if this happens. Now, no guarantee that it does, and when I am in a bull market, I usually have two areas that I try to buy at, and I buy 60% at one and 40% at the other. The reason why is, as we are coming down, there's not as high a chance that we're going to quite make it to the second one. So I just want to dollar cost average the way down, because what if we only hit the first one? And if we don't hit it at all, that's okay. I come up with a new plan during the next time I see bearish signs like this. So this first one here is, if we do come back up to, say, 20K and we drop down, we're looking at a 20% correction. This was not enough for the first one here. This was only about a 17% correction, I believe, total, right? Yep, 16, almost 17%. So I'm waiting for this. This line also corresponds with the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, which is a very good place for a bounce to occur if we were to, say, shoot back up to above the moving average, and that's the only correction we get. It's also right below a big even. It's right below 16,000, but it's below 15.5. So just some reasoning as to why I picked this. And it is also at the support for what was previously resistance. So if you look, if I extend this all the way out to here, support here, resistance here. And we have not tested this again since we've gone up. So to me, logically, this is a very, very sound place to put in a buy order. If we look on the VPVR, we also have a lot of traded volume that occurred at this point. So this is my first buy-in point. All right, the next one is going to be right in this box area. And I put my line specifically at this 14.4-ish point, or 14.2-ish. And again, this comes down to three reasons. This really faint, thin line here, this was the channel, ascending channel, that we were in previously. So a drop to retest on that was a very, very strong traded area. I have just a projected line of what I think this moving average would look like at this point, and from when I drew it several days ago, it's following it pretty good. So at the rate that we're going, I would expect somewhere in this area would be where the 20 weekly exponential moving average would be, which is what we've always tested as the minimum in a bull market. Which, if I was to zoom all the way back, just like we tested this teal line, at one point we did have a wick that came down to test this blue line. So these are the 2 points that I have my limit buys for. They never happen, don't care. I have my crypto in my bags, and if I never bought any more, I would probably be just fine. But I have an addiction, so I keep buying it. And that's just me as a whole. So I hope this answers the questions on the everyone who was like, where am I putting my prices in? Why am I putting my prices there? Where the hell did you get this logic? All of that. And then one last point. When I said the VPVR right here is high traded volume, I put mine slightly above where the major traded volume was here. So that way, if it just barely makes it, that may be a perfect spot to where I could really buy the bottom. You're never going to be able to perfectly predict the bottom or the top. But, if you give yourself some leeway and, try not to be greedy, you may be able to get this. So in the short term, I think here in the next couple days, people are going to be very disappointed. We're going to come up, probably get rejected again at 20K. Again, this is my personal thoughts, because at this point, you know, the technical analysis is mixed. I think we're going to get rejected again at 20K, and then the correction is going to be brutal. If not, I'm almost positive that we'll break 21, get close to 22, and we'll start trading sideways and maybe trickle our way back down to like 20, and 20K will then become the new support. But those are just my thoughts. So if we elaborate on that just a tad bit more, here was that double top I'm talking about, and we're now forming what could be a nice little symmetrical triangle here. So if we were to come up, I think the next high would probably only be about 19.8, even if we overshot it a little bit. We could get nice bounce in this ascending triangle, and then it would come to if we can drag it out the next 2 days here and build it up, we have a higher likelihood of breaking through. But like I said, I do think, based off of my technical analysis and how I've seen these markets in the past, I don't think we're quite ready yet. I think we're going to be about 2 to 3 weeks away. I think Christmas is going to be one hell of a time for Bitcoin. So what does this have to do with XRP? Well, when you're trading on exchanges here, so if we have Bitcoin, like, let's measure this drop we had, this drop that, you know, literally screwed everybody out of half their trades here. So we went down about 8%, almost 8% here. All right, so if we come over here to XRP, that was December 1st, and we come to here, and we see the drop. XRP had a drop of about 12%. All right, the difference is between the 8 and 12% is it's going to vary based off of how the crypto is performing on its own. But XRP was doing very well and getting ready to test this resistance and on its way to break up, but Bitcoin dropped. So because Bitcoin dropped, this caused XRP to fall down. But what happened immediately during that time? XRP was bought up like crazy. So in this pattern right here, we have this beautiful hammer curl. All right, if we come back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin was bought up pretty fast. However, it dropped right back down afterwards. Coming back to XRP, where's that one at? XRP started to trade above its moving averages after all the limit orders and all the different orders were screwed over during that time, right? So Bitcoin, for a fact, controls these other crypto markets, right? Well, let's pretend right now that Bitcoin is going to trade sideways for the next couple days. Where's this chart at, right? So for the next couple days, we trade sideways. It forms a symmetrical triangle like this and continues to go. Well, it's going to take until December 5th for Bitcoin to reach the end of this triangle, and it may not, it could, but if we head over to XRP, by the 4th, XRP is going to have some sort of move, downside, upside. Could continue sideways, but it's more likely to follow one of the patterns, a drop or a rise up. So if Bitcoin does drop another, say, 8% like it did before, let's say it makes it to here and it drops 8% down to 17,241 or comes back to the exponential moving average, we can expect a drop in XRP around that plus a couple percentage. So if we did 12%, 8% last time, let's do another 12%. So that drops us down to around 53, 54 cents, whatever. And that would be where this moving average would probably come to at some point. So I did all of this work on explaining Bitcoin and where I feel on it because XRP is getting close. And a lot of people are asking me, should they buy? For long term, of course you should buy. It's going to go up. But in the short term, they want to know, is it a good, should I wait to buy? Personally, I think if you don't have any, get some, just take half of what you're planning on invest and get in. Get doctor/idiot, not financial advice. If you do have some, I think there will be a little bit of a drop and you could potentially accumulate closer to around 55, 60 cents. And that's for two reasons. And I know people in the XRP community are probably going to hate me because I'm being slightly bearish here. but I said it's only because it depends on Bitcoin. So right now, if we take a look at XRP within this symmetrical triangle, which, I mean, damn, if this doesn't look pretty, I don't know what else does. We had a rally, we formed up another impulse wave, and then we've been trading in between on this. And I have that described on this chart here on the 4 hour. Right, this looks very good. And this wave, I believe, will take us up to about $1. All right, if we come back to this one here, in the short term, I'm waiting to buy a little bit more XRP for one reason. We have a top, another top, and it looks like we're about to form another, a little bitty head and shoulders, right? And why I'm waiting, because this isn't that big of a price, is just because, like, for me, it's fun to know if I'm actually right or not right. And this little green line here is here for a reason. This is the bottom of this rally that went up into this potential little bitty head and shoulders pattern. If we come over here, this other line is the neckline, and it lines up perfect with where the bottom of our symmetrical triangle is. So I just have, you know, a little bit of a limit order set up to buy some more at 56 cents, because to me it's smarter to buy it here than it is up here, right? You buy low, you sell high. And then from here, I think we will either have a nice bounce, or, you know, again, just continue trading in and bouncing sideways. All right. Now going back to this chart here and why I picked $1. So I used a simple Elliott impulse wave to depict this symmetrical triangle as well as this bull flag, which typically breaks to the upside. They don't always, but in my head, I use about 60-40. So there's a 60% chance it's going to go up, 40% it's going to go down. If it does go down, the likelihood, if it was wanting to go up, is that it'll get caught on a support, usually 75% of the full measured move. So like if we were to come here, this was the break to the downside, I definitely don't think we're going to come back down to 14 cents, right? I think one of these points will pick us up. But if we break to the upside, it puts us up to around $1, $1.10. So which would match to be a good target for this next breakout, which is why I'm suggesting that I think it's going to go to $1. And I told people right before we broke 30 cents that I thought we would make it up to about 74 cents. And I put every mark that I thought we were going to hit on the way up. And my first target was around 49 cents. And then my next target was 74. And we patched this target by 4 cents. And my first target we patched by a cent. We got all the way up to 50. So technical analysis, gives us hints. If we can read them correctly, we can have a good chance at timing the market. So I definitely think that we are going to go up to $1 here very soon, but that is only if Bitcoin doesn't crash brutally. And that's why I wanted to bring up all that info I could on Bitcoin, because just that drop that went down a couple $1,000 forced XRP immediately down to this line where we got a wick. And if this doesn't show that XRP is super bullish, but affected by, another market here, I don't know what else to tell you. I think right here we would have broken out and gone to $1, but Bitcoin is what held us back. So I know that was a shit ton of information. This video is probably going to be like 30 minutes long. But one last point that I want to bring up is I was asked, how high do I think XRP will go? Well, personally, no clue. I think it'll be definitely worth tens of dollars. And one person was like, just tens of dollars? I was like, well, it could be higher, but like I have nothing to say right now that $100,000 or $10,000 XRP is logical. Not enough money in the space, and even with all the global payments and things that Ripple is utilizing the XRP ledger for, not enough partnerships at this time to allow for $10,000 XRP in the future. For sure, fuck yeah, I believe it. But as of right now, I'm giving you information off of what I see. So if we scroll all the way back on XRP here, we had this little tiny pump right here, and we traded sideways. This pump, and then we traded sideways. If you zoom in, I can put a line right about here, and it shows where the resistance was that became support, and then we came up. We came here, we can see that this here has been resistance, and then it broke it and came up. So I transferred that line over. We were able to plan when this one was going to break up and go. So the reason I show you this is because this yellow line up here is after we have this next pump, this is the price I don't think we're going to be going below, period. And this price was depicted of a 20% or just a drop from this all-time high to this line. So it was 20%. So if we go from here we just take down about 20%, or just, I did a little less, and this is 15%. And the reason I did that was because this lines up exactly where we had multiple candles right there, right in between, so around 280, 284. So coming back over here, I think we're going to have that wild pump up here after we hit over $1 and it starts getting more attention and Bitcoin's well over 20K. We're going to have this pump, and it's probably going to launch past that, close to $7, $8, and then we'll have a recovery down to maybe $2 or $3. You know, maybe previous all-time high would be an even better point for this. But if we just copy what has happened in the past, now 3 times, this to me seems like a logical place based off this number. And you know, the next logical place for this actual measured move up is we're looking at $7 to $10 XRP. And that most likely will be in the next couple weeks to months. You know, that might be generous or conservative, but I definitely think that, you know, if you're worried about buying between 55 cents and 60 cents right now, you're waiting on, you missed the boat then. So, you know, get into XRP if you don't have any already. Not financial advice, but that's going to do it for this video. I know that was super long and I drug all that out to explain Bitcoin, but I am not a maximalist here. You know, I like so many cryptocurrencies. You know, I own everything from VeChain to Elrond to Uniswap and a couple other DeFi coins. But my major holding is XRP, over 90% of my holdings. And from the time I bought to where it is now, I've tripled the value of my account. My Bitcoin has doubled it, you know, because I bought it around 8,000 to 9,000 right after the pandemic had a pump. And this thing is just getting started. So I hope you actually listened all the way through and that my information is actually worth something. It's, you know, just my thoughts on it, but so far I haven't been wrong on much of it. You know, take it for you as you wish, you know, do your own research, but I hope this is kind of giving you an idea of how, for the people in the Discord, how I kind of pick where my price targets are, you know, the different ways that I allocate my dollar cost averaging, because not every plan is gonna, my plan is not gonna work for everybody. So if you have questions on how you can do that, you know, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So I have a lot of people in the South African community. Shout out to you guys, love you guys, who have been, you know, taking my advice and have been making money and are looking for other ways to increase their bags and other stuff. So super glad I can help you guys. Just all the links in the description. I was like, you ain't got to pay a dime for anything. I had some scammers in mind, which I thought was shocking since I'm not that big, but I'll never ask you for anything besides maybe your address so I can send you something. And your address is not something that anybody can scam you with. It's just your wallet address. But that's it. You guys take it easy.